Week 5 is done. My voice is gone. I have a lingering cold. There is potential that is a sinus infection had brewed upon me on Saturday. Maybe it was the Sunday after. Who knows? Guys, we're here with you on Tuesday, the 30th of September, after an absolutely glorious week 5 that we want to recap with you guys. I mean, just absurd game slate, actually. It was an underdog day. It was a dog day. And I want to jump right into it. And before we get into, honestly, before we get into the analysis of this game, I was able to take Brandon to my alma mater and give him the full experience. Brandon, tell me your first time ever at a college game. This is your first time ever tailgating at a college game. Can you just tell me what did you expect, and then how did it meet your expectations?
What did I expect? I definitely expected a lot of people, of course. I knew it was going to be a sold-out crowd. I knew it was going to be packed, but I didn't expect everyone to be so friendly, so welcoming. The crowd was great. The Penn State fans are great. A real sense of camaraderie, like amongst like the whole fan base for sure. We had a great time just interacting, getting to know all the other fans when we were there. That was a lot of fun. The school spirit was alive. Now, I will say, and I do understand it's a hyped game, college game day was there and all that. There were a decent amount of Oregon fans there, they were great too. We had a really good time with them as well.
Oregon travels well.
But Oregon does travel well. I mean, they're one of the premier teams in the country and all that.
A lot of money.
But yeah, no, Penn State fans were hyped, man. Penn State fans were feeling good going into this game. I was feeling good going into the game. We got merch from the store and all that. I got a little worst state ever. We'll put that on the pod. I got a nice little t-shirt that said worst state ever. The fans loved that. And it was an Ohio shirt. But yeah, no, the atmosphere was great. It was really a 10 out of 10 experience.
I couldn't have asked for, honestly, a better setup. We kind of did this a little bit with a squished agenda. So we had to get out early Saturday, drive up there, check into an Airbnb that was like 30 miles away, and then we went to the game. We did the downtown bars, and we're going to show all of you guys the footage. We have our editor actually working it right now, and hopefully we're going to get a video to you in the next week or so. Just showing you the vibe. And we loved it, and we killed it. And we ran routes on 18-year-olds, and I mean, it was just a good time.
That footage is incredible. We got CC Peppers.
We went to CC Peppers. We had legendary cheesesteaks. I mean, the whole experience was like, it was unforgettable. And I'm gonna dive in for just a second here, and I have a few things I'd like to say about my personal experience viewing the game.
Okay. I
don't want to talk about the outcome of the game, because I feel like it's been talked about more than enough. I think Oregon, I just want to, let's start out with Oregon. Oregon has, I think, cemented themselves into championship contention. That roster, that mentality, the coaching staff, the QB specifically, talent on the outside, talent on the inside. They won the line of scrimmage. I mean, I don't even want to talk about Dante Moore. He is 100% deservedly on everyone's Heisman watch list. He played as if he was in his backyard with his friends. They had a total of 2 false starts and 1 timeout caused to, effectively cancel out the delay of game penalty. So I think all things considered, Dante Moore, who is in a very unique scenario, a third-year player who is a first-year starter. And I didn't know what to expect. I have seen him play against lesser teams, and deservedly I thought that the QB advantage, I had said this on the pod, handily goes to Dante Moore because he took care of business better than Drew Aller did. What I had done was I had mistakenly thought that the play calling was reserved in an effort to delay the real plays to come out in the big moments. And so I just want to talk about Penn State, and I want to talk specifically to Penn State fans today. That was rough. That was so rough to watch. And I don't want to talk about the play calls because we all know there was no offense for the first 3 quarters. I don't want to talk about the misholding penalties early in the first and second quarter. Um, what I want to talk about is how this program and its ineptitude to be able to climb the ladder and be amongst the elite teams in college football. I think there is a massive systemic issue that is deep seated, whether it is a mentality problem or some sort of mismatch amongst your play callers. Something is not right. And there's been too many games where I have seen, me personally, I have taken a look and I have rewatched the footage and I've tried to understand why these play calls ended up going so poorly. Now, this is the second game in recent history. We know that Notre Dame was able to capitalize on a very late turnover by Penn State and by Drew Aller, who had misread his reads, and he openly admitted that. I'm worried that we are now officially 5 weeks into this season, into the 2025 season, and the ability to turn, I don't want to say is impossible, but will be very, very difficult. Andy Kotelnicki's scheme that he's trying to run with, the quick RPOs and the halfback sweeps that rely on your offensive line being, winning in the trenches. I don't know if Drew Aller is the right fit for that. If we wanted to run this kind of offense, wouldn't it have made sense to stick with Bo Pribula and let Drew Aller go? I'm sure it would have costed the school significantly less. But Drew Aller has an excellent arm. He has the build of an NFL quarterback. You can't deny it. He is a dude.
Yep.
I have seen him stand and deliver. I saw him against USC last year. That game specifically showed me that he was willing to fuck up to win. And I know that sounds weird, but he was willing to make the mistakes. And now we've seen him regress back into this, timid throwing, this play action, these play actions off of halfback sweeps that aren't working. You're losing in the trenches. I mean, the line of scrimmage on both sides. I am worried that this Penn State team, again, I'm going to say it, I'm worried that this Penn State team is unable to turn around, similar to how Ohio State did last year, and turn this season into something of glory. And that's because I'm a jaded Penn State viewer. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I have seen how ineffectual they have been against top-tier opponents. You had everything. You had Penn State at home. You had that home crowd sold out, white out. You had the best, quote-unquote, one of the best offensive play callers. You have the best Big Ten defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles. I feel sorry for the Penn State fans. I don't know. How does this season go? Do they beat Indiana on the road? Do they beat Ohio State on the road? Does that team that you saw, Brandon, beat Indiana on the road?
It's tough, and that's the thing is they have a couple more tests on their schedule. This isn't, the only test that they had. What I saw when I was watching that game was I saw a team that had the roster to compete. I saw, they had the fan base. Like I said, it was packed out crowd, 111K. I mean, the faith that this fan base has year after year, after a lot of letdowns, is really just, commendable. I will say what I also did see was the front seven for Penn State is strong, but the secondary was weak. I don't know if the secondary is weak or maybe Dante Moore just made him look weak, but Dante Moore looked very, very good. That offense, it looked like he was just in total control of it. The play calling was great. I mean, they went, 5 for 7 on fourth down conversions, I think. And he looked great on every single one. Like some of them he was dropping back and throwing. Some of them he would scramble for the first down. So the contrast between him and Drew Aller was I felt like the difference was like I saw one person who was in total control of the offense and just looked so poised versus another quarterback who kind of almost looked like he was like restricted a bit due to the stubborn play calling and schematics of the offense. And unfortunately, he didn't take the same step. At least it looked like he didn't take the same step that Dante Moore did in terms of their progression. Um, and I think that's what this game came down to. Unfortunately, was the quarterback play. I think that offense just looked really good. I mean, DeCorian Moore, the true freshman for Oregon, was slicing and dicing the secondary for Penn State. I think he was the leader that game for receptions. So that was it was
I
yeah.
noticed.
And then
I want to say the quick screens to the outside. What that showed me, they won all of those screen plays because really a lot of those when Penn State gets into man matchup, that's those wide receiver those outside screens. It's a talent play. It's the one-on-one. Who are you going to win the one-on-one? I mean, one-on-one talent right there. They won every single time. When push came to shove, they're converting the downs. They were fighting for the touchdowns.
And I just felt like they needed to find more opportunities to kind of do that almost, like Penn State, like Devontae Ross, that throw to Devontae Ross. Why didn't you open that up earlier, Like, I'm sure Oregon going into this game knew that they had to focus on Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. Like, how could you not? And you also have Drew Aller back there who's, the hype going into the season was he's a potential first-round prospect. So why not let the guy, use his talents? It was tough.
It's tough.
The loss of Tyler Warren was very evident. It was, yeah. You know what? It felt like watching, like, every time Penn State had the ball and they would get a completion or a first down or, a couple yard gain on a run. It felt like more so like a sigh of relief instead of a celebration.
The entire stadium would sigh. They were so
every
thrilled that we
single
got
time
positive
it was a
play.
sigh of relief. Yeah, it was tough. So I think it's a combination of James Franklin's stubbornness and in terms of like the play calling and the schematics, and also like Drew Aller's kind of his just lack of growth this past offseason. And I hope that's not the case. I hope it's more so that they just, aren't running an offense that fits him best. But yeah.
I will say defensively, Jim Knowles did I would say an excellent job of keeping that Oregon team at bay for as long as he did. And Denai Dennis Sutton is still a monster. He had QB pressures. It's just that Dante Moore was better. That's what I saw one-on-ones between Denai Dennis Sutton and Dante Moore, and Dante Moore would just win them. It was rough. It was really tough to watch as a Penn State fan, as someone who is concerned for the future of the program, obviously. I think that Penn State might have to also really seriously reevaluate the offensive play calling. If they want to move forward. I think that's the
only way to success the rest going forward this season. I mean,
it has to be a shift.
Kudos to James Franklin. In the press conference, you could tell he kind of like took accountability.
Hold on. Because he did. I understand that he took accountability, but it's been 10 years, and we're proud that he took accountability after 10 years. It's a systemic issue. And if it's something that you've had multiple sets of talent on your offense, and you are still unable to produce, let's take even a 10-year step back, a 9-year step back. If Penn State doesn't block that field goal against Ohio State in 2016, how different do you think James Franklin's career would have been?
Yeah. No,
just think about that one play. That is his last time he has beat a top 10 team in 2016. I think the statistic was like 1 in 15 since then. Since that game.
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah. It's not good. It's not a good record.
I'm worried. Okay, that's enough of Penn State.
I got faith going forward. I'll say that. I do. I genuinely do. I got faith going forward.
It's going to take. What Ohio State was able to do after the loss to Oregon, and then turn it around and buckle in and build and understand what their real identity is and play around that. I don't know if Penn State has the capacity to do that. It's a coaching thing. All right, we're gonna go all the way back to Friday. I just had to start with that because fresh on the mind, had a lot to say. Okay, Florida State at UVA. We called this, didn't we? We called the over.
On the pod, I did go with FSU, but
last second.
That day of. You could confirm.
Yeah. I talked him. We convinced him. Yeah. It was a great play. UVA obviously was able to stay in it because of great offensive play. I mean, they looked good, dude. Florida State's defense is no joke. I mean, they were winning the line of scrimmage on some of the runs. Actually, for majority of the game, they were winning the line of scrimmage. It just felt like in the fourth, they started getting pressure on the QB. Still snuck out a win. Florida State still produced on offense. Tommy Castellanos had like one or two kind of misreads, whatever. What's your takeaway from this game?
It was a crazy game.
It was just fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was UVA was just competing the whole game. The offense, like you were saying, looked good. The quarterback looked good. They were calling all the right plays. I thought that game was really just a great job by the coaching staff of UVA, like finding ways to stay in it.
It's obvious that coaching staff is novice. Yeah, I mean, he was calling for an extra point in the second overtime, but that's not allowed. You can only go for 2. So you can see like this coaching staff is new. They're still pulling off the craziest upset. This is, in my opinion, the biggest upset of the weekend, is it not?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Florida State, don't worry, Florida State fans, you guys are fine. UVA just is good. That's what I learned here. UVA has a great offense, and it's able to compete with Florida State, just like you said. TCU at Arizona State. I caught pieces of this game. I know on the pod we said TCU plus 2.5. It ended up falling to plus 3.5, and that kind of graced us. But we would have lost if we, so sorry about that. Arizona State with kind of a great game, great comeback.
Sam Levitt,
they look good.
Great.
They looked really good in that second half.
Yeah, they looked.
I thought for a second,
the whole squad,
because TCU was up like 17-3 at one point. I thought thought for sure. I was like, TCU's gonna run away with this. This is gonna.
TSU got off to like an early start. Yeah. They put up. They were making noise early on, but then after that, Arizona State just found a groove, and Sam Levitt was leading that offense. Relique Brown looked great. It was, you got to watch the.
No, I haven't seen Sam Levitt like that in a minute. I haven't seen it like that. Jordan Tyson, also crazy catches, being reliable as hell.
8 receptions, 126, and 2 TDs.
Yeah, and that guy Dwyer on TCU still, dogging cornerbacks. Really was a really entertaining game to watch. The bits and pieces I did see. That game was tough because it ended up going late, and we had to wake up at like 5 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday morning, once we hit, the bars downtown in State College, we were able to catch bits and pieces of all the noon games. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had to rewatch all these games when I got back home, which is another reason we had to push the pod to now. USC at Illinois.
Yeah.
We called this too. Illinois plus 6.5. I mean, truly, I just thought that this was going to be closer because it was Big Ten play. You're playing at Illinois. Illinois is no joke on defense. That being said, this turned into a track meet. And Illinois just outlasted them. I mean, kind of crazy to think, considering they just got completely obliterated by Indiana. What are we making of all of this in the Big Ten? Everyone is just beating everyone? What the hell?
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm curious to see like USC play some more teams within the Big Ten. Just because I feel like, I don't know. I mean, Illinois is like the toughest one they've played so far.
And J.D. Maiava, he started making mistakes again, playing against better teams. All of a sudden, he's making mistakes. So I remember he was reckless with the ball a few times in the late end of the season last year. I don't know. Is Illinois like, are they still relevant? Do you think? Do you think they still have a chance in the Big Ten?
I mean, they only lost one game. Looking at the rest of their schedule, I think they can beat every single team that's listed on there. And they've got some, it's not easy games, but I do think they could beat all their opponents except for that, Ohio State game.
Who do they got next?
Purdue is next.
Oof.
Purdue, Ohio State.
Is it at Purdue?
At Purdue.
Yeah, we're taking Purdue, guys.
We're taking Purdue.
100%. 100% we're taking Purdue.
9.5?
No way. It's 9.5?
Yeah.
We'll
get into that.
We'll get into that. We'll talk to you guys on Thursday about that.
Yeah, soon.
No, great game. Actually, I think the over hit here too. An absolute shootout. Track meet. Jaden Maiava did look good in the second half for the record. That touchdown that they got with like a minute and a half, I think a minute 40, minute 50 left on the clock. I think they interviewed Lincoln Riley at the end of the game, and they were like, hey, do you feel like maybe instead of going for the deep shot and getting that touchdown quick, should you have not like ran the ball a few times, maybe killed clock? And he was just like, dude, we get a touchdown in that scenario. I don't care how we get it. We get a touchdown. We're happy. defense. I mean, Illinois was able to just come out with the win here. They played just a little bit better. They had the final possession, and they closed it out. So congratulations to Illinois after getting absolutely obliterated the week before. Nice win.
Yeah.
And this was right when USC was getting hyped, by the way. This is right when everybody's talking about how wait, USC, could they be contenders? Also looked it up. Lincoln Riley's record on the road is not great. Especially in conference play. I remember it was like 4-11 so far.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not great. I remember we can fact check that. One.
Dude, USC, I mean, if they can just fix the defense, that secondary is... Because, dude, Luke Olmeyer had a game.
He had a crazy game.
If you can just brush up the defense a bit. Illinois wasn't able to get any points on the board against Indiana. And I'm not trying to, Indiana's defense is great. They're a better team than USC. I think so at this point. But, I mean, that's a bit. 34 points,
It's a lot.
Because their whole ball game, if USC can just put up some points and, get a couple stops, yeah, they should win.
That's all they
games.
need.
Yeah.
Okay, weird sneaky game that actually did not work out for us. One of the few, by the way, because we had a crazy weekend. Ohio State at Washington. What do you take from this game?
Yeah, so I went back and I watched this one, and Washington looked good, the whole first half. They just couldn't finish, in the red zone a couple times. I think they had, a fumble as well when they were down there, which was really tough, on their first possession or something like that, I believe. But then the Ohio State offense started clicking, and they just started rolling. And, all their playmakers were making plays. Jeremiah Smith had a game. All the backs had a game. Julian Sayin looked great. I was impressed with both teams, to be honest, because Washington, they score. It doesn't show how close it really was. Definitely.
It was a very close game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Washington was making plays for sure.
Yeah, Bo Jackson had a day.
Bo Jackson looked great. He looked great. They did a great job of stopping Jonah Coleman on the Washington side. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean you said, the most important thing that I took is that they looked good. Washington offense looked good, but the fact that they couldn't close, they couldn't get points, they're having turnovers in the red zone. This is an Ohio State defense that is no joke. This is a defense that will win a national championship, by the way.
They look good. They look very good.
They look good week 1 against Texas, and they continue to roll through. Ohio State, I am buying very high on Ohio State. Julian Sayin is in one of those positions. All he's got to do is just be a little bit good, just a little good, and that defense will close out games no problem. Also showing that Ohio State can completely destroy teams on offense and win out games on defense as well. Speaking of defensive games in the Big Ten specifically, Indiana at Iowa ended up becoming a close game. So Iowa, this happens every year, I feel like. Iowa has the opportunity to upset some crazy good team. And it always ends up being a one-score game. And I think that's why we took Iowa plus 7.5. I think we like the Big Ten spread. Indiana, low-key, had so much momentum. At one point, it looked like they may run away with it. And then one interception by Fernando Mendoza. And it felt like the same exact thing happened in the second half. I saw they were getting some momentum, and then another interception. Indiana is still... They have proven that their defense is more than adequate, and they kind of won through defense here. There was that that quick slant late in the fourth that ended up sealing the game for Indiana, which was a big play. But I think they only had 1 or 2 plays over 20 yards. So Iowa defense still held well, and Indiana proved that they can win on defense. In those nitty gritty games. Very impressed, actually. I am very impressed more for Indiana in this game. It felt like.
Yeah.
On the road in that environment.
It's a tough Big Ten matchup. Yeah. Especially coming off of a big win, not drinking too much of the Kool-Aid, really just still pulling off another dub and, within your conference, that's huge.
Yeah. What would you see this game? What were the big things you saw this game?
Yeah, I mean, Mendoza looked good. I knew he threw the pick, but, he pulled off the W, which is huge. That's all you want to ask for. Roman Hemby, the back that they got from Maryland, he put up some yards too. I think he had 80-something yards that game. But yeah, it was, one of those classic Big Ten games.
Yeah. Awful to
But
watch, like awful to
yeah,
watch. There was barely any highlights. I had to really dig deep into the, the try hard college football highlight, guys on YouTube who put the 20, 30-minute highlights, but there
had to
was
do some
not a
digging.
lot of offense that game on either side, really.
No.
Um, I don't know. I'm buying high on Indiana. Like truly,
Indiana looks great.
they
I
look
really
really
like
good.
Indiana.
That I
Yeah,
think they are a serious contender in the Big Ten.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh boy, the game that got Sam Pittman fired.
Oh yeah, that was tough.
Notre Dame destroys Arkansas.
That was the game that was on when we were at the bars, and it felt
Yes,
like every time we looked over at the
over. It was like
TV, it was
Notre
like
Dame touchdown.
another 40-yard touchdown, another pick,
Jeremiah
another.
Love,
And I was like, dude,
Jadarian Price, both of them had big games. I mean, both the running backs, they had, what was it, 419 yards of offense in the first half, something like that?
CJ Carr
Put on a
looked
show.
great, dude.
Put on a show.
CJ Carr's good, man. CJ Carr's a damn good quarterback.
I'm worried about Arkansas. I don't know what happens to this coaching job, by the way. I mean,
He got fired.
I know, but they have they have talent on the team.
Yeah. No, they do.
What do you like? Is this like a desirable position? It's an SEC
I
head
saw that.
coaching
You've seen
job.
that. Yeah. The argument is that it is, but you're going to be, in that seventh, eighth spot all the time. So you're going to be on the bottom tier of the
Yeah,
best
but
program
you could compete.
in college football. But you could compete.
That
I
used to be
agree.
A&M not
But-
too long ago.
Yeah. Did you see the AD? I believe it might have been the AD, but someone came out from that from the sports department or the athletic department for Arkansas, and they asked him if Sam Pittman had the resources he needed to succeed, and he went ahead and he just pointed to they give out the salaries that all the coaching staff gets and some sort of numbers involving that. And basically, he was like, if you look at that, you could pretty much tell that, no, if they're getting paid that, then what are we giving to our players? And we just don't have the resources, to go out and get a good, recruiting class. So if they can fix that, though, I mean, it's an SEC program. I think it's a historic program. I would be, I would love to see Arkansas make some noise again.
Yeah, they've had talent before. Actually, they beat Penn State in a bowl game not too long ago, just a few years ago. I mean,
Darren McFadden, Felix Jones duo was so fun to watch.
Yeah, McFadden. Gosh, look at that!
Yeah,
wow, what a crazy throwback.
Dude, they've had so many
good seasons.
players.
They've had good seasons, like 8-9 win seasons. So I don't know. I'm really hoping another fun head coach joins the SEC. That's what I'm hoping for.
They asked Rhett Lashley about the job
Already.
Yeah.
How do you know
shook.
that? How do you guys hear? How do you hear about that?
He was shook up. Yeah, I saw the clip. Somebody clipped it, but he was
Wow.
in his press conference or something, and they asked him about it. And he's given the political answer. I'm focused on SMU. Blah, blah, blah,
That's I feel like that's got to be an upgrade.
Yeah.
Hopping into the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn at A&M.
Yeah.
So I took plus 6.5. That covered somehow. This was also a very difficult game to watch offensively on both sides of the ball. I mean, Jackson Arnold and Auburn, for me, this feels like it's not the right fit. Is Jackson Arnold just like a complete bust? Is he, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that he deserves like a starting QB role in the SEC?
I think so. I think it's tough because I think one of his, biggest problems is just he does hold on to the ball too long. And I do think, I mean, it's tough to make excuses for him. I mean, the receiving core that they have is great. Like he's on a better offense than he had last year, I would say. They did all they could for him, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's still, some hope for him. Definitely. I definitely think there's still some hope for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping.
I feel like his issues are correctable.
Yeah, I mean,
their
third down efficiency was awful, as always. I don't know. A&M also winning on defense, genuinely winning on defense. I don't know. Jackson Arnold had another 5 sacks, I believe. This Auburn offense needs to get in check because I feel like they're kind of squandering this defense a bit. This is the second week in a row that Auburn defense has basically shown out, and Auburn offense has done absolutely nothing. I feel like Auburn and Florida are almost identical, are they not?
Auburn was 0 for 13
I
on
knew
third
it. I knew
downs.
it was either 1 for 13 or 0 for 13. I remember seeing that.
That's absurd.
Yeah, it's really bad. I'm worried. I'm worried about the Auburn team. I mean, it does look a lot like Florida, and also I would even make the comparison to Penn State too. You know, super ineffectual on offense. When push comes to shove, when you're in the big games, you're not able to produce. Who cares if you're beating those FCS teams? You are in a tough conference, and you need to show up. Look at Auburn's schedule. Look at Auburn's schedule for the remainder of the year. Do they go 500 this year? Does Auburn go 500?
Georgia, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mercer, Alabama.
And I mean, I understand that it's the SEC. You could say any of those names, but those just happen to be very, very difficult names. And Alabama's going to be in Alabama this year. I want to say. So.
Yep. No, it's in Auburn.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be fun. Iron Bowl's always fun to watch.
They're lucky. That's the one thing they have going for all these games, actually. So they got Georgia, Mizzou, Kentucky, and Bama all at home.
Well,
and
I mean,
Vandy and Arkansas.
Yeah, they've been
on.
This is the second week in a row they're on the road too. They just have a really rough schedule. I mean, everyone in the SEC does, but yeah. Another SEC matchup that ended up being, in my opinion, the most exciting game to watch. LSU and Ole Miss. Man, Lane Kiffin was all over this defense. This man was all over this defense. I think Chambliss is in a great position. I think Ole Miss has. I think they have found a great match with Lane Kiffin here. I understand that Ole Miss has good history against power opponents in the SEC. I don't want to take that away from them here. I just want to reiterate that the reason why we took Ole Miss specifically was because we felt that LSU was overrated a bit.
Yes.
And it turns out we were right. LSU is overrated. Offensively, they can't produce. I understand that you didn't have your RB1, Cade Durham, but they couldn't. Another week, and you still can't get 4 yards per carry. So the defense is getting squandered. They were testing those young corners too, one-on-ones, Chambliss, and he did throw a pick. But that guy, Woodland, they really like the LSU cornerback. They really, really tested him, and he gave up a big chunks a lot of the time. So LSU pass defense also looking somewhat sus. We did say that they were top 10 in every category except passing. Top 15. We did mention that on the pod last week. And they have a crazy third down defense. But Ole Miss just looked better. They looked like the better team here. I don't know. What'd you take from this game?
This game was awesome. I was hyped when they got the dub for sure. Lane Kiffin did a great job. I think he did a great job with Trinidad Chambliss. I think Trinidad is, a great QB as well, but it's something about Lane. I mean, it seems like almost every QB he has, he sets them up for success, and he sets up, all the playmakers for success too. Because as great as Trinidad looked, his playmakers, were killing it too. Deuce Alexander was making all those tough contested catches. Caden Lee was getting open, off of his route running and speed. The running backs were making plays. I mean, the whole offense was just clicking. And LSU's offense just, it looked like they were holding themselves back at times. It looks like it looked like Nuss was hurt, definitely. That one interception they had in the red zone was crucial. And then the touchdown that they had, I mean, it was a great catch by Nick Anderson, but it was a tipped ball, and he was able to secure it. So it wasn't like
I totally forgot about that.
Well, it wasn't like it was a really good executed play by the LSU offense. It kind of, they pulled it off though, which is great. But yeah, Ole Miss just through and through this game, they kind of were able to keep the edge and keep their foot on the gas. It was a fun watch.
I had a lot of just like you, I had a ton of fun watching this game. Chambliss,
it was awesome.
Is he the best quarterback in the SEC?
No.
Who do you have above him? Realistically,
we're about to talk about him.
Well, okay. I don't want to talk. I mean, John Mateer obviously would have my vote if he wasn't injured, but as of right now, oh boy,
Ty Simpson.
Okay. Lead the way. Please lead the way. Tell us about the Alabama Georgia game.
Ty Simpson.
I'd love to hear about this.
First, well, I just want to talk about Ty Simpson real quick. Because honestly, since the second half of that Florida State game, he's been nothing but great. Since that game, he's executed really well. I've seen him poised like in every game. And then he's able to use his playmakers to the best of their ability. And Kalen DeBoer looks much more locked in as well. I think Jam Miller, him coming back is huge for them as well. And then Isaiah Horton, the Miami transfer, able to get in the end zone. That was huge. Ryan Williams had that huge drop. That should have been a touchdown as well.
Quarter one. And it set the tone. I mean, for the record, he did take an absolute hospital ball in the fourth to convert a third down. And he took it like a man. I felt like he redeemed himself in the fourth a little bit with some of his catches.
Yeah, that game was crazy, though. I mean, it was one of those classic Georgia-Bama games. It really could have gone either way. But I think Ty Simpson, his quarterback play really, I think that defined the win. In my opinion, and then the way he spoke to the team afterwards in the locker room, I mean, he just seems locked in, and I love the fact that he's been with that program for 3 years. I want to say he's been there since Saban was there his freshman year. He sat on the bench, he waited his time, and now he's looking great, dude. That team looks good. Yeah. I'm excited for Bama.
I think they had 3 third down conversions on that first drive, despite the really bad drop by Ryan Williams. That set the tone. Ty Simpson, poised in the pocket. This dude has full control of this offense. He has the captain patch. You know that, right? And rightfully so.
Yeah.
I literally just noticed that. I would love for him to be at the helm of Penn State offense. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, you know what I mean? Like he looks like just the best all-around quarterback right now, and he's mobile.
Oh, he looks good, and he makes good decisions. And this was in a hostile environment. Can I ask you a question? Genuinely, is Jeremy Bernard the best wide receiver on that team?
Jeremy
Bernard.
Yeah, he's sick. I like him a lot. They like him a lot in those short yardage situations. It seems like
he's
those
so
one-on-ones
because they want him in space.
He's so athletic.
He'll win.
Yeah, they want him in space. And they get him in space, and he wins.
I think he's the best. I think he's low-key the best offensive player on the team, as long as you get him in space. That obviously Ty Simpson playing out of his mind. Georgia also had a very calculated drive at the end of the second quarter to kind of go into the half with a little bit of momentum. The fourth down play call by Georgia inside the 10, deciding to go for it instead of going for 3 and the tie.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me. I understand you're at home, and Kirby Smart is not necessarily historically great against this team, and he wants to put it away and seal it. You're at home. What's the reasoning behind just not tying it there?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't agree with that call either. You have a good defense. You have a good team. Why not put like you guys usually do? You put your faith in the defense. But hey, I mean,
for the record, Georgia had a really bad drop too. Alabama also had a fourth down conversion that was like completely butchered, and that was in plus territory too earlier in the game. I believe it was in the third. So for me, it kind of canceled out. That Ryan Williams drop canceled out too. I thought this game we took it because we thought Georgia was going to win, but we were like, oh, this is a field goal game. I'm going to take Alabama plus 3.5. It just so happened that they won the game. It was a field goal game. We were right. It just so happens that Alabama won it. I think Alabama, Kalen DeBoer made smarter decisions. I think that's how they won.
Yep.
I think Ty Simpson's a great decision maker, which helps. But really, this team was won off of coaching decisions. And Kalen DeBoer, let's give a round of applause to Kalen DeBoer. This guy who has only taken shit since the day he's taken office, basically. I thought people were going to kill him after the Vanderbilt loss last year.
It's almost like he's the opposite of James Franklin.
Yeah, really.
Like, he wins all the big games.
He wins the big games and loses to the... and I think that covers all the big games that we wanted to from this past weekend. Again, it was just so crazy being able to be a part of that whiteout experience at Penn State, finally under the lights incredible. Again.
No, seriously. Thank you again, Alex, for your, hosting 10 out of 10 time. Alex's friends showed us a great time tailgating. It was tough, not getting able to get the W, but a double OT college, football game under the lights, white out. It was a 10 out of 10.
It's all you can ask for. It's all you can ask for.
Best sporting event I've been to, hands down.
That's awesome. I love to hear it. I think I heard you say when we were in the game, you were like, yeah, I just told my friends texted me and they're like, tell me what it's like. And you were just like, yeah, it's like gladiators, bro.
This literally is it's the modern day gladiator.
It's modern day gladiator. The
we're
hype,
in the Coliseum,
the yelling.
baby.
Yeah, you ever seen the Commanders fans yell on third down like that?
Nope.
It's a different world. It's a college football, and that's why we love it. That's why we love.
No, that's what's
football.
awesome about it. The passion, man.
I mean, it's just unbelievable the love for the team, and I do love Penn State, and I hope they turn it around. Just have low expectations. Guys, we're going to be back on Thursday, probably Friday when we release the episode. We have a pretty decent slate coming up for this upcoming week.
Yep.
And who knows, maybe we'll throw out some top 10 lists or something in the upcoming episode, huh?
Oh, we got to come up with our own. Well, let's maybe our top, and then maybe our own, Heisman finalist. What we're thinking right now.
I like the Heisman. I like the Heisman finalist one. I want to reevaluate.
Let's do it.
Okay. Until next time, guys.
Bang.
Peace.